Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Tina van Oven. Welcome to the Soul Food Sanctuary. And here we are. It is Freedom Friday here in Australia already. So, how beautiful to be having this energy clearing and activation with everything that you have been contributing in the post from Tuesday about crisis or opportunity. I so appreciate you being willing to be vulnerable and sharing what's been challenging in your life right now. In that post, I asked what's the most challenging thing for you at the moment so that we can collectively clear the energy that is locking that limitation in place and thereby increase the joy, prosperity, and abundance consciousness for everyone here who is willing to receive it. So, if that sounds good to you, then you're joining us live, then go ahead and say yay or sprinkle some other love in the comments. And if you are joining the replay, then go ahead and type in hashtag replay and sprinkle some love in the comments there. So let's have a little look. I'm just going to refresh this for a moment. So, reading through everything that you've been sharing, here is what the challenges are at the moment. I'll read some of them out so that we can just imagine we've got this amazing cauldron, if you like, and we're just like we're in the cosmic kitchen here, and we're just going to be putting in everything that you have been contributing. And if you posted something in the comments of the crisis or opportunity, then, and I'm not speaking it out, know that this is being contributed anyway. If you did not post something, then know that you can add this at any time. Whatever is creating the biggest obstacle or challenge in your life right now, we are calling forth the energy of all of that so that we can bring this up into conscious awareness and letting that energy be cleared so that we can have an energy activation happening here. So let me just hang on one second. Okay. So, what are some of these challenges? And the beauty of having this energy clearing and activation happening at this time right now. And hi, Tamara. Let me see who else is joining us. If you are here, then go ahead and leave a comment. You may want to just put your name in there. It doesn't always show up the name in the comments here right away. So if you are joining me, then let me know who's here so I can actually um, acknowledge you. There we go. All right, so some of the things that have been shared as being the biggest challenges are the worry and concern is the restriction of choice, restrictions of access to unbiased information on what is going on, and the potential um, of not being able to visit family, loved ones. That is a big thing for many people at the moment, right? Hi, Lisa. The other thing is the judge. So this is Monica saying also the judgment I receive when I share my concerns. It's totally against the independence and freedom I've experienced over my 50 years in this earth life. So yeah, Lisa saying my biggest concern is similar to Monica's freedom to choose for ourselves and express that safely. For her, that's been especially around health. Gina saying the biggest challenge is the voices from the past that now, as we shelter in place, have the silence and space in which to resurface. They are bringing up old issues around trust and intimacy. This is really awesome. I will continue adding more into the pile, realizing that at the moment there are a lot of planets going retrograde. And today, as of this recording, it's the 29th of May. We are heading towards the 5th of June. 5th of June is a lunar eclipse. When we have an eclipse happening, it's like literally bloop, bloop, like the shutter on a camera. It temporarily shuts off um, the energy and it creates a reset. So it's literally like giving you a glimpse out of time to reset. We've got another major energy activation happening on the 21st of June, which is the solstice, which is also new moon. and also another eclipse there, and then wrapping this whole eclipse season up on the 4th, 5th of July with another lunar eclipse. So when we have these lunar eclipses happening, which is you start feeling this energy usually a few weeks beforehand. So we are in this extraordinary window of opportunity right now that will continue on into like the middle of July. So if you're feeling a lot of emotions and everything coming up, old memories coming up, that's part of this clearing purging cycle. And lunar eclipses tend to bring to light what needs clearing in the emotional body. And then when the solar eclipse occurs, it's like, what are you ready to take action on? It's forward moving. So the lunar eclipse is more of what we would label um, the feminine aspect of our being, and the solar eclipses are more of the masculine aspects. And with the masculine energy being sandwiched in between these two feminine eclipses, it's like all the nurturing, all the caring, all the places where you have not received the nourishing that you required is really being brought to light, so that that energy of really stepping into the divine masculine supported by the feminine can come into union. And as we move out of this eclipse season in July, then it's like an amazing opportunity to experience what it is to be truly in divine union within yourself, and to let your mind, more of the masculine, be in support of the heart, the more feminine energy, so that you are truly thinking with your heart and that you're feeling with your mind. So those come into union. So when all this old stuff is starting to come up to the surface, know that that is simply part of this energy activation that is supporting us collectively right now. When I say simply, I'm not diminishing anything you are experiencing right now. Know that when these emotions are coming up, we'll offer that up in the clearing in a moment. Notice it and go, interesting that all this stuff is coming up, and allowing it all to just move out. It's like you are going through the area in your inner um, inner home, if you like going through a house and going through the rooms and going through the closets and clearing out what's been in there that you may not even have realized was there. And you go, oh God, didn't even know that was here. Okay, time to move on. So that's that. Let's see. So we have the maintaining success mindset, is what Roz said, which she said was usually related to finances or position status. And now she's learning to focus on making meaningful, mutually beneficial connections. So whatever that is, wherever that is creating challenges, then allowing that to be added into this mix here. What else have we got here? The challenge around, so Lynn is saying her challenge is around creating content and courses to use in her business to create more momentum, interest, excitement, new clients, and more money. Now, with any of the things, by the way, as I'm reading through this, if you are catching this replay, if you're joining here live, then know I'm inviting you to ask yourself, for whatever the biggest challenge in your life is right now, is why is that a challenge? So one of the things is that when we try to think with our minds what the solutions are, especially when we're trying to come up with ways to, for example, bring money into our lives, then the mind tends to reference the past as to what it thinks is going to work. And so you're going to try and recreate something from the past that wasn't working. If it would have already done so. And calling forth instead what else is possible and available. So we'll get into that a bit more. I just want to start bringing this energy up to the surface. Noticing there, if anywhere where whatever the challenge is in your life, if you've been finding yourself trying to figure it out, what the solution will be to bust through this, when you're trying to figure things out, it's that aspect that's liking to control. And so we're going to offer that up for clearing too. Aideen is saying, I feel like I'm on the precipice of making this big leap over to some place wonderful, and I'm just wobbling on the edge right now. Like every single self-doubting, self-sabotaging thought or habit I've ever had is standing beside me saying, you can't possibly do this. And I know I can, but it's loud right now. There's a lot of noise going on. Beautiful. Yes. And all of those doubts and all of those voices of the inner shitty committee will very likely be loud and attempting to keep you in the old way of doing, being, and functioning in the world. And again, when that's happening, you go, yay, interesting that this is happening right now. Awesome. Time to let all of that go. Leslie Temple Thurston from Coralight says it so well. She says, doubt is the ego's last line of defense. And you know that when you finding yourself doubting yourself, you're not allowing yourself to let the light that you are fully take over. This is the journey from going to knowing about trusting, knowing about faith, knowing about surrender, knowing about, it's in your mind making that choice of, yes, I am saying yes to living fully embodied as the light I am. This is going to be bringing into awareness all the places where you have ever, ever felt, bought into, believed, were programmed to hold records, memories that it's not safe to let light fully in the body, to let the light you are take over. So everything that's stirring up, let that bubble up to the surface. I'll offer that up for clearing here as well. And I'm not going to read through all the comments here because we'd be on here for half an hour anyway. Know that I've read through everything. So many of the comments here are about the biggest challenges are to do with money, with finances, restriction of freedom. Linda's saying the daily routine is getting on her nerves. She feels like she's over it and just wants to go to work and fly somewhere. Yes, if you're feeling like you're trapped, the routine is getting to you and you're starting to get bored, that's often an indication to explore what else can you bring into your life right now. Yeah, that may give you that experience of freedom that you experience when you're traveling and you're free to roam as and where you choose. So I'm going to feel into with any of the things that you've shared here as to why is this a challenge for you. And the other thing is that as you are feeling into whatever the challenge is for you at the moment, another way of saying why is this a challenge for you, you can say because. Anytime you find yourself, I have this challenge because, whatever follows the because is what locks the limitation in place. So the gift of this time, which is why we're talking about crisis or opportunity, is that when you start recognizing, especially when something has really been persistent in your life and it's been a challenge ongoing for longer than a few days, a few weeks, then there will be many reasons that you have come up with, conclusions that you've made that lock this particular limitation in place. And the invitation here now is to see whatever follows that because. That is where the gold lies, to let that be released. So, for example, Zoe saying she's showing up every day and working hard, but her regular customers are not buying her services because they are feeling financially insecure, which then makes her feel financially insecure. And she's exhausted from trying to change that. Yeah. So, all of that, everything that follows the because, letting the energy of that come up, adding that into this clearing here. So thank you all for sharing this. And whatever's blocking inflow of money for Anne, yep, that's a big one. Krista saying she has a daughter with panic attacks and she can't get her to join her in, to get help. And it's really eating at her, bugging her, translating here. And the thing with that is that when you are observing someone else is in pain, is in going through challenging times, and you know that you could help them, or you know that someone else could help them, if someone is not willing to receive whatever it is that you are offering them, if you are going to try to offer them something that they are not willing to receive, they will throw that back at you energetically with daggers attached. And that is the energy that often feels really uncomfortable, painful even, can hurt. So the key here is when you are being in someone else's business, remember that that is not your business. So to come back to your business, hand it over to source to deal with this. Know that other people's business is their business, and whatever that stirs up in you, that is what we are calling up to be cleared and released here. And here again, money. So money, 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 money. Big topic. There's going to be big money clearing. Very appropriate because we are in Venus retrograde. Venus, the planet, is all about what we value, and that often includes our resources and money and our relationship to that. So we're going through a review period with that. Then let's see. And the other thing is that so that house had been on the market for 6 years and trying to sell that, and trying to trust in trusting, feeling frustration about that, and trusting in divine timing. Yep. So when something hasn't been shifting, you're wanting a different outcome somewhere, then everything that stirs up, and you start to come up with all the reasons. What tends to happen there too is that you'll go into judgment of yourself, others, the house, the divine, money, the whole enchilada, as to why this is not happening. And all of that is like, it's not happening because blah, 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 blah. We just want to bring all that energy up. And learning new skills, moving forward, staying focused, and not daring to show up. So I love that too, Yoga. Thank you for adding that into the mix, because one of the things here is that you being here in the Soul Food Sanctuary, you being drawn to be here on this particular video here right now, to be willing to receive the energy clearing and the activation, makes you someone who has chosen to show up as the light that you are in this world. You would not be drawn to being here if you did not have a calling within you to let your light shine and to bring your gifts and brilliance out into the world. One of the biggest things there is the fear of being persecuted for your light. So anyone, anywhere who has ever experienced that fear, if you have bought into some of that, or a lot of that, a lot of it may not even be your own, but you're holding on to that, and it's the fear of showing up, fear of letting yourself be seen or heard. And also that when you do step out and you're feeling really strong and you're feeling courageous and you're feeling empowered, and then you start doubting yourself again, then knowing that that is the inner shitty committee at it. As I mentioned earlier, if that happens, when that happens, then you simply allow yourself to say, wow, that's interesting. I'm choosing to let the light I am fully show up in my life in every way. Choosing to let the light that I am fully into my body, every cell of my body, to liberate every trapped emotion that's ever been held, every trapped imprint that's ever been programmed into my body, to be cleared, released, dissolved by the light I am, for all that energy to be recalibrated, and all the fears that are trapped in the body from records and memories of times gone past, or witnessing this in others that that's not safe, have to come up and out to be cleared and released. So yay for being willing to let all of that come up into awareness to be cleared and released, even if it feels uncomfortable, which it will. That's part of the whole process, which is why we have support. So having read through majority of what was shared here, these biggest challenges, I invite you to give your mind permission and instruction to forget everything it thinks it already knows about overcoming challenges, what it takes to overcome challenges, to forget everything it thinks it already knows about manifesting in this world, creating in this world, what it takes to be you in this world. And allowing all those past reference points based on past experiences, based on the old world, the old operating system, the old way of doing in this world, to be released, and to allow yourself to be open to receive what else is possible beyond this world, beyond current circumstances, beyond these challenges you've been experiencing, to tap into what is available in the field of infinite possibilities that your soul has been nudging you to allow yourself to receive into your life by having this challenge bring to your awareness where you have been making something really important to hold on to. It's when it keeps showing up and it keeps triggering you and keeps annoying you. Yeah, it's always like, wow, this is a challenge I must overcome. Any of the ways that you have made it so important that you must understand what it is, that you must be able to work out what is causing this, why this is happening in your life. Any of the ways that you've been trying, and that's the thing when you find yourself trying, it's the mind attempting to work things out, very limited perspective. When you've been attempting to come to a solution and things are just not working, are you willing to just let everything that stirs up and everything that all the ways that you've been looking to solve this challenge from the old database, that's your past experiences, where you have experienced disappointment, and it sets up an expectation to be disappointed loop. So you're projecting into your future to be disappointed because that's been your experience in the past. If you've had any experience of wishing to create change in your life and it's not happening, and that happens numerous times, then it'll set a loop into motion that will say, well, it's not going to work for me. Why would this be different now? So anywhere that you have come to conclusion that no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to overcome this challenge of yours because it's been so embedded, so deeply imprinted, and no matter what you do, it's not working, not shifting, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nice, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Using a statement that's from Access Consciousness. It's a clearing statement. It's like sending a virus scanner through your entire database. I can post a link below if you want to know more about that. There are lots of different ways to use clearing statements to have that effect. This is one of them. You can check out theclearingstatement.com and it tells you more about it. Another way to help clear all this stuff is to simply say you're calling up everything that's been having you reference your past database for solutions for something to shift in your future reality. Thereby, if you do that, if you're trying to come up with a solution for your future reality based on the past, you just keep recreating the past in your future. And then you wonder why things are not shifting, which is where Einstein said something along the lines of, you can't solve a problem at the level that it was created, right? So you have to step out of the box, be willing to let go of those reference points. So anywhere that you have been calling on past references, going to your inner archives to try and find a solution for this persisting challenge in your life, and bringing up as to why it's a challenge for you. Why is it a challenge for you when money isn't showing up in your life? What is that bringing up for you? Why is it a challenge for you if relationships aren't working in your life the way you would like? What is that bringing up for you? Why is it a challenge when you are restricted in your movement? Why? What is that bringing up for you? Letting all that energy come up and everything that follows that, because this is a problem, because I can't solve this problem, because I haven't been able to resolve this yet, because everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? And simply let yourself say, release, dissolve, recalibrate. We allow all that energy to be released and dissolved, and then it's like all the crap that's been happening in your life, turning that into fertilizer. It's being recalibrated with the light that you are. What is possible and available for you when this challenge has resolved itself? What is this challenge calling you to activate within yourself? Is it calling on you to trust the light that you are, the infinite divine being you are, knows the steps to take? So perhaps there is an invitation here for you to truly surrender into the divinity you are, into the light you are, to let the light take over and everything that stirs up, the fear of losing control, the fear of losing what you love, what matters to you. It's going to bring up all the unresolved issues around what source, divine, infinite being is for you. Any of the ways that you've experienced betrayal, being let down, feeling abandoned, rejected, all the fear of being judged, all the ways that you've ever had anything that you desired not work out, and therefore you're afraid to let yourself dream and tap into the desires of your hearts because you don't want to get hurt again. Everything that is, let all that energy come up and let's destroy and uncreate it all. Will you? Pot and pock all of that. Release, dissolve, recalibrate. Let's tap in for a moment into what is it that you value about you? Or what do you not value about you that is now being invited for you to truly value? Being in this Venus retrograde phase, Venus, the planet of what we value, of beauty, of relationships, valuing your gifts, valuing money, valuing your resources, valuing beauty, anywhere you may or may not have allowed yourself to value yourself, your gifts, money, resources, everything that stirs up. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Pot and pock all of that. Release, dissolve, recalibrate. You may find that as you go through the coming days, weeks, that you'll have these flashbacks. It's like emotional flashbacks as these clearings are happening. Maybe suddenly memories of people or events or circumstances pop up you haven't thought of in years. And it can be really tempting to then get tricked into diving into the emotion of it all. The invitation here is to allow those memories to just come up and go, oh, that's interesting. They're making their way out. It's like clearing out. And as anything gets triggered in you, that is not allowing you to stay centered in the light that you are. You say everything that is, destroy and uncreate it all. Pot and pocket all. Release, dissolve, recalibrate. Any way that you have bought into poverty consciousness being noble, being what keeps you safe, all the lies attached to that, anything that is keeping you in poverty consciousness, regardless of how much is in your bank account or regardless of how much you have of anything in your life, anywhere that you have bought into poverty consciousness, made agreements, vows, oaths, promises, pledges to live according to the rules and instructions of this program of poverty consciousness, which has been prevalent on this planet, will you revoke, recant, renounce, rescind, destroy, reclaim, and uncreate all of that, please? Letting all the ways that you've ever made any vows to live by this to just be released, dissolved, recalibrated. Pot and pock all of it. And could you allow yourself to give yourself, your body, your emotional body, physical body, mental body, your entire energy body, your life, permission and instruction to fully allow, receive, and be prosperity consciousness? And everywhere that you have judgments or opinions or any expectations and thereby setting up disappointments of what that is based on past experiences, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Pot and pock all that. And anywhere you're not allowing yourself to fully receive, allow, and be prosperity consciousness, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Release, dissolve, recalibrate. So let me know if you are here live, then if you have any questions, let me just refresh this for a moment. What's resonating with you? What's coming up for you? Noticing that whatever is there, these challenges, life can be, yeah, bring its challenges with it. And knowing that whatever challenge is happening in your life right now, you have within you the resources to transform absolutely anything. You are resourceful, full of source, source as light, the light that you are. If you allow the light that you are to illuminate what is ready to be released, what is ready to be embraced, and allowing yourself to just let the light take over, what else is possible and available for you then? Let's have a look here. Ah, and Courtney, hi. So let me know what is landing for you. Any questions anywhere that you'd like me to address? If you're on the replay, just post this and I'll come back and respond to you a little bit later. So as clearing this energy, allowing this all to continue clearing anything that has been in the way of you um, releasing these challenges in your life. You may want to feel into also, with this challenge gone, then what? Then what? You may have heard me address this before. Oftentimes, when those that you love and people around you are like in the crab pot, remember that story of the crabs? When the crabs are in a pot, and if any crab tries to get out, the others will actually drag it back down. So, this is tribe mentality. When you are surrounded by others who are um, when you are surrounded by others who are still plugged into and choosing, they may not realize they're doing this consciously, but they're choosing to stay in the poverty consciousness, which is driven by lack and scarcity and struggle. And you are choosing to break free, to choose to receive, allow, and be prosperity consciousness. There can be some old contracts, karmic agreements, um, you know, vows, oaths, commitments made to stay with certain people and situations in your life that will hook you in to the old crab pot of limitation. So, anywhere that you have any old contracts with anyone, anywhere, or anything that are complete, yet because you've made those contracts and it's like they're still tethering you, like when you have a tent and you have those pegs in the ground, it's like your tent is being invited to be moved into the field of infinite possibilities for you, into the new, as yet unknown territory to be explored, and you've got to tether into the old reality, then it's simply a matter of pulling that peg out of the ground of the old reality and just letting the tent lift off and land where it may. So everything that stirs up in you, and anywhere that you are holding on to old contracts that are completed, would you be willing to let all the cords that are connecting you with anyone or anything, hooking you into the past, into poverty consciousness, to be cut, to be released? Any of the vows and oaths and commitments and pledges and promises, keeping that in place, to be revoked, renounced, recanted, rescinded, reclaimed, destroyed, and uncreated. Pot and pock, all of that. All that energy, you're retrieving what is yours and you're returning to wherever it belongs, what is not yours. So you are free and everyone else is free. And here is the beauty: as you give yourself permission to fully release, to liberate yourself from this poverty consciousness that we all came into the world with, because that was part of the operating system here. And we also have within us everything required to choose, allow, receive, and be prosperity consciousness, right? So any of the tethers to any of the old that kept you in the poverty consciousness, as that is being released, fully released, dissolved, released, dissolved, and recalibrated, and you are choosing to fully let the light in and be, receive, allow that prosperity consciousness, then you will be a beacon of inspiration for others, beckoning them to come and join you. So Lisa saying beautiful, breathing through some resistance, suddenly got a sore throat. Yeah, and when you start noticing aches and pains coming into the body, everything that is, and especially with throat, center of expression, anywhere that you have ever felt you have to shut up, dim down your truth because you might upset others with what you are going to be saying, anywhere that you were told as a child that it's okay. In Dutch, we have a saying, children are to be seen, not to be heard. Oh my goodness me, right? It's like you've been programmed to be quiet and to shut up. Then, when you start finding your voice and you are allowing spirit to flow and express through you, it can bring up a lot of fear of being persecuted for speaking your truth. So, anywhere that has been stored within your throat center and you have been afraid of speaking up, then allowing all of that and everything that is stirring up and everything that's keeping physical symptoms in place or creating physical symptoms so as not to let yourself be liberated and free. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that now, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nice, shorts, boys and beyonds, POD and POC, all of that. If you find yourself having made a commitment to fully be the light that you are, in whichever language you do that, the way that can play up is saying, I choose joy, I choose freedom, I choose ease, I choose harmony, I choose prosperity, whatever the quality is. And you are really committed to being that, to allowing that, to receiving that, being that, letting that be your reflection in your life. You will start finding that all the ways that you have unconsciously not allowed that will start showing up. And one very clever way that we can do that is to either create physical breakdown in our own lives, in our own bodies, or in the lives of those we care about a lot. How often have you seen it? Maybe it's happened in your own life that you've just committed to fully stepping into a new expression of your life, your business, project, something that lights you up. You're choosing a path that nobody in your environment has chosen to travel on before. It lights you up. You're excited about it. You feel all the infinite possibilities are there for you, and you're going for it. And then, boom, somebody in your family or someone close to you suddenly gets ill and requires your care. And you pulled back from choosing to show up for you. And that's not saying not to show up and care for anybody else. It's just being aware of if that happens, then you've got a program running that says the moment that you choose what lights you up and what honors the light that you are, then something has to happen to slap you on the fingers for making you the light that you are priority number one. And one way to do that is through the fear, obligation, guilt pattern program that will hook you back into the poverty consciousness, the lack, the limitation, struggle, and the ways that can show up is through having to suddenly be required elsewhere, to suddenly have something break down in your life, some trauma or some drama happening that totally yanks you out of the path that you were on for yourself, and it's kind of creates more obstacles and blockages there. So if you've ever had that happen, then you go, wow, aren't I a clever, powerful creator, right? Knowing that you can create such obstacles that seem to be completely out of your control. And wow, if you can do that, now with the awareness that you have there, you can go, wow, you know what? I do not require to be slapped on the fingers, to be punished for choosing the light that I am. That's part of the old paradigm, the old programming, anything that in your system ever bought into that, everything that stirs up, even just hearing that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nice, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah. Rachel saying, yes, wow, true, that does happen. It's amazing, isn't it? And it can be in your own health. Oftentimes, what I have seen is if you ever get migraines or bad headaches, this often happens as a way of either, when you get physical symptoms, first of all, you ask, is this even mine? Or does it belong to someone or something else? And if you start feeling a bit more spaciousness when you realize it's not yours, then return to sender and notice what happens then. If it is yours, then you can go, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What is the blessing in this? Like, whatever the challenge is in your life right now, what is the gift in this? What is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to show me? Where is it bringing my awareness? So, whatever the challenge is, if it's not shifting, it seems out of your control, perhaps you're being called to step into clearing, releasing all the ways that you've ever felt powerless or disempowered, that you've doubted that the infinite being you are already knows the solution, and to actually really trust that. Maybe you're being guided to allow yourself to receive more of what actually supports you to thrive. So, anywhere that you have placed a cap on what you are allowed to receive and have in this world, because if you get more or have more or be more than anyone else around you, then oh my gosh, that's no good. Everything that stirs up, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Right, Wrong, Good, Bad, POD, POC, All Nice Shots, Boys, and Beyonds. And allowing any of the cords that are keeping any of the old contracts that are completed to just be cut, released, letting yourself be set free and everyone else connected with that. By the way, in the 5-day Faith Lift Challenge, if you participated, then you'll remember this. If you didn't participate or you'd like to experience it again, we've got the Faith Lift bundle, which you can receive the replays, and the meditations have been edited, so you can listen to those individually. One of the meditations in there is the clearing and the cord cutting, and that is just really, really, really powerful to do on a regular basis. As we tend to, when you are around people, and just being in this world, where majority of people are still completely tethered into poverty consciousness, then being around that energy, if there's any openings within you or any resonant fields with anyone where there's fear or obligation or guilt, and boom, you get suckered back into that old pattern, then it's really important to do clearing of that on a daily basis to let your field be cleared. Just like you brush your teeth or you have a shower, you want to clear your energy field from any of the hooks and the ways that you get suckered into that poverty consciousness. Right. So anyway, I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in getting those. They'll be really helpful. So it's really allowing yourself to let all the false structures, that the false foundations, that the false lives, the false stories that your life was built on, to just be dissolved. And this period that we are going through collectively will bring to light the fear of letting go. And so, addressing fear for a moment before we wrap up here today. When you are functioning in fear, it creates a stress response. And a healthy stress response is the fight or flight symptom, right? So fear has a very healthy function in that it can trigger that fight or flight, which is what will literally keep you safe. Let's say that you're about to cross the road and there's a car coming, boom, you got to get that fight or flight response has to kick in to ensure your safety. When, on the other hand, though, you are consciously or mostly unconsciously buying into the fear stories of what will happen, the worst case scenarios, when you find yourself worrying or you're starting to feel a lot of anxiety, especially around money, anything to do with what supposedly creates your security. And so worry and anxiety, that kind of fear is constantly triggering the stress response. You are placing your immune system under tremendous overload, can lead to burnout. And even though we know that consciously, when the body is hooked into that and you haven't made the distinction to know that when you release fear, you're keeping the healthy fear that keeps that fight or flight system in place, that creates the healthy stress response. But we want to offer up for release and clearing all the false fear, if you like, the false stories, the the worry, the attachment and addiction to worrying and anxiety, as if that's supposed to keep you safe. All it does is it keeps the old poverty consciousness safe and alive and well and thriving, which has you suffering and sacrificing your well being, your joy, your freedom, and everything else. When you allow that to be released, dissolved, and let that energy be recalibrated, you're liberating yourself and your frequency will be uplifted, and that will have an impact on everyone else if they choose to receive it and would like more ease in their life. So everything that just stirred up and all the attachments to the fear, that is the false fear that keeps unnecessary stress response, creating excess stress on your body, that shuts you down and literally dumbs you down and dims your light and stops you, prevents you, makes it very difficult to see the possibilities available for you. It will create confusion, overwhelm, and just foggy brain. You can't think clearly. You can't see the possibilities right there in front of you when you are driven by this false fear and are constantly under stress response. Your body is shooting off cortisol through your system and you simply can't relax. Anywhere that you have that running, bought into requiring that to stay safe, will you destroy and uncreate all of that now, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nice, Schultz, boys, and beyonds. So, to wrap up, allowing all that is brought up here today to be cleared, released, dissolved, to just integrate, to recalibrate your body, physical life, as more light is allowed to be in your body, turning on the light inside, you'll start noticing that that is reflected in your outer reality, also known as your life. You'll start noticing which invitations light you up. You'll start noticing being around which people lights you up. Where do you feel contracted? Where do you feel dimmed down or dumbed down? Noticing that if there is a fear response there, you're going into worry or in anxiety, then letting that false fear be released and allow yourself to give your body permission, instruction, to be open to receiving, being, allowing the light that you are to fully turn on and to show you the next step that is optimal for you. And the next step, action step, may be an actual, what we would label action step as going out and do something. It may also be that you take some time to do a clearing meditation, cut the cords, run the clearing energy through your body and field. Listen to your inner guidance as to if there is a conflict area in your life, what will it take to resolve this? What will it take to tap into the possibilities I desire? When you are tuning into whatever this challenge was that you shared, what is available for you without that challenge in your life? Whatever that is, it's likely to be that it will bring you freedom, ease, joy, harmony, light, fun, calm, feeling relaxed. Whatever that is, what will it take to be, allow, receive more of that into your life right here, right now? If it is freedom you are seeking, what will it take for you to allow yourself to receive, be, and allow freedom right here, right now? You may discover there are other possibilities available for you haven't discovered yet. So it's calling forth from within you and from beyond the reality that we have lived in so far. So it's like truly stepping into that field of new possibilities, infinite possibilities that we don't know yet because it's new. Calling forth from that field of infinite possibilities into your awareness, into your life experience now, that which resonates and is beckoning you forward. And that may be an inspiration to go and do something, to go check out something. You know what it feels like. You recognize these little signs, these little nudges. And when you allow yourself to say yes to that, even if it makes no sense, especially when it makes no sense to the conscious mind, it's like letting joy guide you, letting your light guide you. It'll be a delightful experience, allowing more light and joy into every moment of your day and seeing what you start noticing. You're literally giving yourself permission to put on a set of glasses, if you like, that when you look through these glasses, you are seeing what resonates as joy, what is freedom, what is light, what is harmony, what is peace, instead of looking through the filters of all the fear, the worry, the anxiety, and being on the lookout for what's not working. Right? So it's shifting your perspective. And when you shift your perspective, what you look at shifts. So how interesting is that, right? So let me know how this has landed for you. What has landed for you? What has this experience been like for you? And to wrap this up, I invite you, if you can, to close your eyes for a moment. Take a nice breath in. Breathing in from the field of infinite possibilities that is beckoning you. Breathing that light into every cell of your body. Turning on that light inside every cell of your body. Beaming out into your world. Letting that light move through every cell. Illuminating every cell in your body. Like little smiling cells as every cell is being lit up. Like happy sunshines. And letting that light beam out through your entire energetic body, emotional body, mental body, etheric body, your causal body, spiritual body, all the layers of your energy field, illuminating every particle, letting yourself receive from the light that you are, the infinite divine being you are, an infusion of light from this field of infinite possibilities, beckoning you. You would call it your future. What is awaiting your arrival? A brand new playing field where the foundational programming is prosperity consciousness. Where the foundational programming is joy, abundance of everything that lights you up. Allowing yourself to receive an infusion of that light, of those possibilities. Giving yourself permission to expand what you allow yourself to receive and be and have. It's like increasing your receiving container. Breathing in, receiving, allowing. From your field of infinite possibilities, your future reality. Breathing that in, receiving that here and now. When you're completely filled up for now, letting yourself breathe in and out, getting adjusted to this increased light frequency. Letting your body be recalibrated to this increased light frequency. It's literally the light that you are recalibrating you. Allowing yourself to have a taste, a sense of what it's like to be living as joy, as prosperity, as abundance, as the powerful creator being you are, here to express and be the light that you are, to express your gifts, your talents in ways that are delightful for you and that will create the resources, including the money and the support that you require to thrive. Allowing yourself to experience what it's like to value you, all of you, to value your body, the physical vehicle here in this lifetime, to value your gifts, those things that come so naturally to you, so easy to you, that seem so effortless, that you may have brushed them aside as invaluable. Well, actually, they are invaluable, but you may have brushed them aside as being insignificant, not valuable, and yet they are. Allowing yourself to experience the value of the resources available for you already, and yet to be received and allowed. And from this space of being, what is available for you now? What can you choose to be, to do? What is one thing that you can do today, inspired by this light infusion? Allow yourself to receive what the next step is for you, and then honoring that insight by taking action on your guidance. The more that you do this, the more that you will show yourself that you value you. And when you value you, others around you will start to express that valuing of you as if by magic. So letting yourself just be in this space for however long feels optimal for you, knowing you can return to this space anytime. And I invite you to go forth and to let the light and the joy that you are to guide you every step of the way, that you may discover the possibilities that are available for you that light you up, knowing that you have within you absolutely everything you've ever required to turn what you desire into your reality, allowing your light to show you. Have an amazing day, have an amazing weekend, and thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy day to be here and to receive this clearing and this activation, that as you have allowed yourself to receive this energy, receiving the prosperity, joy, and abundance upgrades, that may ripple out into your life, into the world, so that those who are willing to receive this too may receive this with total ease. Have a wonderful day, and I love you.